Ark of the Covenant. You might have seen this in the 1981 Steven Spielberg's Raiders of the Lost Ark. But actually not in the movies. There are several books in the Bible which gives us a clear description about the Ark of the Covenant. According to the book of Exodus, it was God who instructed Moses on Mount Sinai during his 40-day stay upon the mountain, where God was, and revealed to Moses the detailed description of the Ark of the Covenant. The biblical story continues to tell us more about the Ark. After its creation by Moses, the Ark was carried by the Israelites during their 40 years of wandering in the desert. When they encamped, the Israelites placed the Ark in a separate room in a sacred tent called the Tabernacle. Now, the Ark has a number of seemingly magical powers, according to the Hebrew Bible and Old Testament. In one story, the Jordan River stopped flowing and remained still while a group of priests carrying the Ark crossed the river into the Promised Land. In other stories, when the Israelites besieged Jericho, they carried the Ark around the city for a week, blowing the trumpets until on the seventh day, the city walls fell down, allowing an easy conquest. Some other stories describes how Israelites took the Ark with them into the battles, where they used its power to defeat their enemies. There were also instances when the Ark was captured by the Philistines, which resulted in outbreaks of tumors and diseases which created other anomalies, forcing the Philistines to return the Ark to the Israelites. Some stories describes how death would come to anyone who touched the Ark or looked inside it. On the other hand, the book of Deuteronomy tells the story of the construction of a much more modest version of the Ark of the Covenant. The book says that at one point the Israelis were worshipping a golden calf instead of God. Moses was so enraged by this that he smashed the stone tablets engraved with the 10 Commandments. God ordered Moses to create a new tablets of 10 Commandments and also asked to create Ark so that they could be placed in it. Now, years later, the story of Exodus, Ark was with different peoples in different whereabouts of situations. Finally, King David had the Ark brought to Zion in the sight of all the public gathered in Jerusalem. In Zion, David put the Ark in a tent and used it as a personal place of prayer. The Levites were appointed to minister before the Ark. David's plan of building a temple for the Ark came into reality through his son, who became King of Israel, King Solomon. He constructed the temple famously known as Solomon's Temple, which was dedicated to this Ark. Ark was placed inside the temple along with the original tablets of the 10 Commandments. In between 597 to 586 BC, the Babylonians destroyed the Jerusalem and Solomon's temple. Israelites went into the Babylonian exile, and there onwards, there is no record of what became of the Ark in the books of Kings and Chronicles. The Ark vanished from history when the Babylonians conquered Jerusalem. Whether it was destroyed, captured, or hidden, nobody knows. Greek Orthodox version of biblical third book of Ezra, which is First Esdras, suggests that the Babylonians took away the vessel of the Ark of God, but does not mention taking away the Ark. Similarly, according to the apocryphal book of 2nd Maccabees, states that the Ark was hidden in a cave on Mount Nebo by the prophet Jeremiah, who said that this place shall remain unknown until God gathers his people together again and show his mercy. Apart from textual theories, some other common claims about the Ark is that it is hidden in a valley of passage beneath the first temple in Jerusalem, before the Babylonians destroyed it in 586 BC. But that theory can't be tested either, because the site is now home to the Dome of the Rock shrine, which is sacred in Islam. So digging beneath it simply isn't an option. Apart from this, the most famous claims about the Ark's whereabouts is that before the Babylonians sacked Jerusalem, it was brought to Ethiopia. Some stories about it says that it was brought by Queen Sheba's and King Solomon's son Menelik, and claims the Ark resides in the town of Axum in the St. Mary of Zion Cathedral. Supposedly, only the guardians of the Ark is allowed to view this Ark. But that theory too debunked by a scholar named Edward Allendorf, who saw the Ark during World War II and found that it was not the original Ark. There are other numerous stories about Ark's survival. There are stories about how it is hidden near Jerusalem, in the city of Mecca, even in New Guinea and other different European regions. But does Bible mention anything about the Ark of Covenant after it was vanished in the Babylonian invasions? Yes, Bible does mention about the Ark in the New Testament in the letter to the Hebrews. States that the Ark contained the golden pot that had manna, and Aaron's rod that budded, and tablets of the covenant, but did not mention where it could be. In the book of Revelation, author John says that he saw God's temple in heaven opened, and the Ark of the Covenant was seen within his temple. Keeping these verses in point of view, by theologians, church fathers, and early biblical scholars personified the contents of the Ark to be Jesus Christ, the manna as the holy Passover meal or the Last Supper, Aaron's rod as Jesus' eternal priestly authority, and the tablet of the law as the lawgiver himself. But does the Ark of the Covenant have any significance in the current day according to the Bible? This comes from the book of Jeremiah. It is referenced by prophet Jeremiah itself about the future time, possibly the end of the days, when the Ark will no longer be talked about or recreated again. Which simply means that just as God taken care of Moses' body after his death, he might have taken care of the Ark too. He did not want it to be made available to the people on earth, otherwise they could also worship the Ark just as they worshipped the lifeless golden calf. What are your thoughts on this? Leave a comment below and let us know.